Hey, so today I'm going to share with you how to create a morning meditation practice. And there are a lot of ways to do this, and there's no wrong way to do it, but it's something that I have found super important for myself, and it's also been super important for my clients. But often it's very an overwhelming concept because there are so many different ways, and mornings can be hard sometimes to get yourself going anyways. So I am very familiar with mornings being rough and just having trouble with physical symptoms or just mentally getting yourself up and going. So I've created this practice with 3 simple steps, and you can do it whether you have 10 minutes or whether you have 30 minutes in a way that works for you. So the practice is 3 steps, and the first one is connect. So this is really important that first thing in the morning we connect with ourselves and with our bodies. And it's sort of just a way to drop in and see where am I at and how am I doing. So the reason that this is important, connecting with your physical body, is because your truth resides in your spirit. So you know love, you know peace, you have joy, but it doesn't always get out, right? Like through your flesh into your life. So it starts in your spirit, and you have that within you. And then from there, it goes into your emotions and your mind, which is sometimes referred to as the soul. So the truth starts to reside in your emotions and your mind, and sometimes we stray from that. So our minds can be really disconnected, or our emotions can be disconnected from what we find is true. And then from there, from the emotions in the mind, you enter into the nervous system. And your nervous system is the filter that decides what is she feeling and thinking, and how am I going to translate that into her physical body. So if you're thinking thoughts full of fear, that's going to translate through your nervous system into your body in like tension. You could feel nausea or muscle pain. You might get a stomach ache. And the same with your emotions, right? If you're really sad, your nervous system is going to translate that into feeling extremely fatigued, or different symptoms like that. So that's sort of how this cycle works and why it's all so interconnected. And we can also reverse it, that the way that the physical body is feeling, that really connects through the nervous system into the emotions in the mind, right? If you're sick, you often feel maybe sad or moody that day. So that's why we start with connection, because we are one big connected unit. So how I like to do this is set a timer. I have 30 minutes in the morning, and if you don't, that's totally fine. You can slim this down to 5-minute chunks. So I do 3 10-minute chunks. So I sit down in the morning, I start my timer on my phone for 10 minutes. And the connection part is all about the physical body and just dropping in. So I like to pay attention to all of your senses. So this might be wrapping yourself in a cozy blanket. This is mine, my robe. My husband calls this the cozy wizard, and I usually keep this over my head because that's how I feel the most like safe and secure and cozy. And then I like to take an eye mask. This is going to get really weird looking, but this covers up what I'm seeing. So it's really disconnecting me from other things and other thoughts, and it's connecting me into my body. So I put this on my eyes to cover that up. Before I cover my eyes, I light a candle because that we're thinking through our senses, right? So like, what do I feel? What do I see or not see? What do I smell? And then I'll always have my cup of morning coffee with me in my favorite mug and have that there so I can be sipping on it with my eyes closed. That's a skill that I think every person who loves coffee has. Sorry, let me take this off. And then the last thing is that I like to have a massage oil with me. So you can use like jojoba oil or coconut oil, whatever, if you have lavender oil, or just a lotion that you love. And I squirt a little of this into my hand, And then I begin. And I'll rub this into my hands. And I'll just start to massage my palms. And this is it. It's just super simple. And I can smell the lavender. And I'm just here for 10 minutes. And when the mind starts to wander, that's where the sensory experience is really powerful, because you can go back to, what do I smell right now? What am I sipping on? What do I taste? What do I feel? What do I see in my mind's eye? Visualizing maybe what you want your day to look like, or a beautiful scene. I often take myself into a forest by a waterfall. That's like my favorite place to connect with myself. And so there we are. That's connection. It's just dropping in and saying, body, good morning. I see you. Whether you're hurting or you're feeling great, I'm here and we're okay. And we're going to get through this day really well together. So that's connect, and that's a 10-minute practice. And then the next part is the exhale. So we have connect, and then we exhale. And the exhale, we take the blindfold off, set the timer again for 10 minutes, and then we write. So you write for 10 minutes, which can maybe feel like a lot, but once you get started, it's just sort of a mind dump. So this can look different. You can literally grab your phone, pull up the Notes app, and just start texting yourself or whatever, how you're feeling. Or maybe it's emotions that are coming up, or just like, man, this day already is a disaster, or man, I'm really excited for what's going to happen today. And the reason we do this right after the connect time is because that tears a veil that otherwise we wouldn't be able to always know, even like where we're at and what our inner child needs to say. So after I've connected, I'm more vulnerable to like, wow, that conversation that I had with that person was really hurtful, and I feel really invaluable, and I feel angry. It's just a free write time to totally like let out whatever that child needs to say. There's no judgment of the emotions. There's no right and no wrong. You might not have the stamina to write full sentences. Like, please don't use grammar or spelling if you don't want to. You can just type out words, and it can be like, that's weird. Why did I just type out anger? It just sort of like gives you this like, let's just exhale it all out. Get rid of what sort of, maybe you had bad dreams, what sort of was in you during the night. So that's the exhale. At the end of the exhale, we delete it. That's really important. So if you wrote this on a scrap of paper, or I don't suggest you write it in a pretty journal, because I want you to throw it away or just delete it, because it's just an exhale, and that keeps you feeling really safe to be able to say those things that maybe feel like really bleh, or whatever, things that you wouldn't want people to see or whatever. So that's the exhale. And then the final step is the inhale. So we connect, we exhale, and then we inhale. And we leave the inhale at the end. Typically we inhale and then we exhale. But since we're starting our day, we want to exhale and then inhale, because the inhale is what we're filling up on. It's like putting gas into the tank of our car. It's what is going to sort of take all that stuff we just dumped, and maybe now we're feeling like, wow, I feel ugh, or whatever. Or maybe it's good stuff. You don't always have to have a terrible dump, but sometimes my mornings are terrible, just in terms of what I have to like process and stuff to clear it out so that I can move forward through the day. So the inhale is going to be setting your timer one last time for 10 minutes, and then you're going to grab whatever you want to inhale. So that's, for me, it's been a book I've been reading lately, and I just read for 10 minutes. That's something that's really encouraging to me and inspiring. It might be your Bible or a devotional if you're a more religious person. It could be maybe like quotes that you've written down that are inspiring to you. Just whatever you want to take in. If reading feels hard in the morning, because sometimes it does, you could do an audiobook, anything like that. Okay? So that is the 3-step practice to create your morning meditation. And if you are someone who's like, girl, I don't have 30 minutes, that's totally fine. You can do this in chunks of 5. You do 5 minutes of connection, 5 minutes of your exhale and 5 minutes of your inhale. The idea is not to really permeate any of these steps right now. The idea is just to do all the steps so that you can move forward and do the day well and how you want to. And you've started your day by listening to your inner child and taking in beauty and light, and it's impactful. So it's been really impactful for me, really helpful for me. I've tried a lot of different morning meditations that have just been really hard or felt like a chore, but this one feels easy and doable, and it has for most of my clients too. So I hope that's helpful for you, and I would love to know if you have a meditation practice, what do you love to do? What things do you like to surround yourself in the morning? Maybe it's candles or coffee, or if you try this meditation practice, I'd love for you to comment below and let me know how it goes for you, or if you have any questions about it. All right, so happy meditating.